Okay, so if you don't know what's going on in San Francisco, we're seeing a massive exodus of small business owners and also big tech companies. But everyone thought there's no way that these tech conferences are leaving San Francisco. Isn't San Francisco like this iconic, tech city, right? So people are like, no way these tech companies are leaving because San Francisco is well recognized around the world as a tech city. So if you host these tech events in other cities, it makes people around the world really scratch their heads. But now we do see several companies already getting themselves to shift these conferences to other cities in the US. We're seeing these companies picking Las Vegas, Austin, Miami, and even Denver to host massive tech conferences. So San Francisco is literally getting drained to the bottom here. And what really sucks about this, right, is these conferences are what makes San Francisco great. Now, I don't care what you say, but I know these tech conferences are kind of boring sometimes, but you need to have these tech conferences to attract a lot of investors from around the world, not just domestically, but also a city, if they do have a lot of these conferences, it really raises their city's status. So if you look at Google's Cloud Next Tech Conference, they're leaving San Francisco for a different city. This is bad because this isn't the first time where a massive tech giant has pulled their conference out. And we will be seeing this conference being hosted in a different city, but we don't know which city it is. Some people also said that we could be seeing the conference go through one last time, but chances are they are still looking for a good spot. I'm guessing like Austin will be pretty good, Miami be pretty good, Las Vegas pretty good. It's pretty close to California. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's not because San Francisco, property prices are going down. It's not because San Francisco has a lot less small business owners. It's because the street conditions are so bad in San Francisco. They don't want to invite other investors and viewers to their conference. A lot of people say that the streets of San Francisco, especially the downtown area, is exceptionally bad. And usually where these tech conferences are hosted is the downtown area. Very close to the civic area. It's very close to Market Street, and that's usually where a lot of people are just doing fentanyl on the streets. This is usually the place where people are just doing crack, people just defecate on the floor, and there's even a lot of places in San Francisco you drive by, there's smells of feces and urine. That's not really a place where you want to host your conference. And even Good Morning America roasted San Francisco just a few weeks ago, saying that this city was very dangerous to walk around in. Now, the thing about a city is obviously there's crime everywhere. Cities, there's always some crazy shenanigan happening. But San Francisco is unique because the city genuinely doesn't care. Like, scenes like this will never happen in cities like Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Dubai. It will never happen in those cities. But in San Francisco, they simply don't care. There's just tents being popped up, people doing drugs, people just high on the streets, and the city just genuinely just doesn't care. And that really just what makes people and a lot of other big companies really frustrated because they're paying these high taxes for a reason, for a good spot. And like I said before, if you look at this right here, if you walk just a few blocks from here, you actually get to the Westfield Mall, which is now currently closed. But look at this. I mean, do you really want people going to a conference walking through this? Probably not, right? And this is why a lot of these conferences are slowly shifting their attention away from San Francisco to other areas. Because San Francisco right now internationally has a pretty bad rep. And if you go to like the Chinese bloggers, right? If you go to the Japan websites, if you go check out what the Australians are saying, they all say the same thing. San Francisco is the bottom on their list for vacations. This is why tourism is so low. There's barely any international tourism here. Nobody really wants to go to a place where it's like this, right? At least other cities in America, they have this, but it's away from like the downtown. Like the reason why Chicago's tourism is still pretty hot and the reason why Chicago still has conferences is because their downtown is kept very strictly clean. Obviously, they need to make it everything clean, but hey, it's better than nothing. San Francisco is like, screw this, we're just going to let the city run itself, and this is what it looks like. This is why 150,000 office workers no longer want to come back. Now, guys, it's not just Google, right? If it's just Google, I might think they're crazy, but it's not just them, guys. Even Meta is now leaving San Francisco. Meta is leaving, and IBM is leaving. So you got IBM's Red Hat event, they're shifting out. Meta's tech event, they're shifting out. Google, they're shifting out. And the scariest part is this one, which is Salesforce. San Francisco's biggest employer. And they've already started downgrading a lot of their office buildings, and they've already started closing their offices everywhere. Whole entire skyscrapers that said Salesforce are now being closed down, or they're trying to sublease it to someone else, which nobody wants. Now, Salesforce is kind of wanting to move out of San Francisco as well. They're super iconic because of the Salesforce Tower. And here's the thing about Salesforce, they also want clean streets too. Salesforce CEO is saying that they're threatening to pull the future Dreamforce from San Francisco, which is by far one of the world's biggest AI event. It's a massive conference. It's not just a conference, guys. It's more like an outdoor, really fun scenario where there's like food, there's like a lot of people, you can make connections. Dreamforce is like this place where you could hear like top speakers like, Sam Altman with a ChatGPT open AI guy talking, and several other talent from around the world, investors talking. So it's like this really big event for AI. This is an event that everyone wants to join in and everyone wants to go see. And obviously you can't really host in a city where it looks like this 24/7. It's just not acceptable, right? So even Salesforce is like, dude, just clean up your streets, man. Like if you don't make the city safe enough, we're really going to pull out. And what's really crazy is San Francisco's response is, yeah, we're recovering. Like on Twitter, they straight up said that. They straight up said that the city's recovering. I don't think the city was recovering when you still have big tech companies pulling their conferences out of the city. San Francisco is such a fantastic place. So much tech in the place. But after the pandemic, it just got so bad. The homeless crisis is just spreading everywhere. You even have other cities in California just dumping their homeless population onto the Bay Area, which is a big no-no in my books. And the thing about San Francisco is just very indecisive. They don't know whether or not to keep the tents or not keep the tents. I'm not sure if I'm crazy or not, but I feel like there shouldn't really be tents and people high on the streets. That's just me. Not sure if I'm crazy. For some reason, that's a very crazy idea now. Here's the thing, just clean up the tents. Companies come back. You'll start taxing them. You make money. Use the money to help the people who are in need. That's just my scenario. That's what San Diego did, and this is why San Diego right now, despite their pretty big homeless population, businesses and tourism is flourishing. San Francisco is a whole different story. You already have the Salesforce CEO saying publicly that San Francisco will never recover to what it was before. And that's a big deal coming from San Francisco's biggest employer CEO. And Mark is not joking. They're really considering pulling Dreamforce, this AI event, from San Francisco. It's a big deal. I know some viewers don't care too much about these conferences, but these conferences are more important than you think. They really do bring the status of a city all the way up because you attract a lot of people from out of the state, out of the country to your city. And that what's really raises the ranking of your city. So if these events are just flooding outwards to like Las Vegas, Austin, Denver, stuff like that, those other cities will be getting all the credit. And those are going to be cities that become like really, really tech heavy. It's like Austin right now. It's becoming very, very tech heavy, or else in the past it wasn't. So all at San Francisco's expense, guys. A lot of companies are pulling out and they're not going in. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Comment, like, subscribe.